Your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker. Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Guys and gals, once again, broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence. There's some banging going on. There's something we're messing with right now that we got to fix. This is like some straight up BS. I think it's because it has to do with some tech shit that we're doing, and we're just have to keep messing it with it, whatever. But I'm not too concerned about it right now. So right now we are. There we go. I see. Yeah, really, Baby Ice is messing around. Oh, I see. There you go. I see you right there, man. I see you, Kel. What's up? What's going on? I see you on YouTube. All right. So everything's back up. Well, don't worry, main page. We'll get you back up too. Again, there's something. I think there's something that I don't know, just something that we got to mess with. It's just one of those things that pisses me off. But anyways, we should be up. I see you on. Let me see. You guys, give me some comms checks on Mixer. I see you on Mixer, right? Is Mixer up?
Yes,
yep.
Mixer's back up.
Mixer's back up. Let me see. I see YouTube.
I got some snacks there.
Yep, I see YouTube back up. I have fucking. Let me see. Who else do I have up? Who else do I see? Do I see the main page? Do we got main page up? No, I don't see. Ooh, I don't see the main page.
No.
Do you see the main page?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Here we go. What's up? Let me see. How about the main page? Roger. Okay, everyone's saying we're good. All right. I'm just checking. It's the Xbox. All right, we're rocking it. Some people listen to us on that Xbox. All right, gremlins are out of control. You ain't lying. I think what it is that I think some of the intros that we got going on are like kind of like, I don't know, oomph. How do I say this? It's kind of like it's pretty powerful stuff. You know what I mean? And so rather than just mess around and get the get the drama going, we'll just fix it right quick. Let me see. How are we looking on? How are we looking on this? Do we see us on the main page? I want to get the main page's complete attention because there is going to be some drama, and then and I want to put some stuff up. Let's check the Twitter images. I see us on Twitter. Okay, all right. So it was a problem on the Facebooks. Okay, here's the thing. What I want to be discussing is going to be pretty controversial, and there's going to be some drama, and there's going to be some butthurt fucking feelings with individuals that I'm going to be talking about. And when it does, I make no mistake, I'm not going to make no mistake. You just talked about that, didn't you? You said people who say no, make no mistake. You're talking shit. I remember you saying that. There's going to be some hurt feelings. I've been hurting feelings like left and right. Like literally, I have been. I hurt some feelings today with some memes that I've been passing around, and it got up on the freaking. It got up on the freaking. I don't know. It made it all the way to the top. How do I say that? How do I say it got all the way to the top? It got up to some presidential maybe. It might have reached some presidential staffs, and I think there might have been.
You can't get any higher than there on the Twitterverse.
Right, you can't. So, here's the thing on the Twitterverse. What I kind of blasted some stuff that had to do with post renaming, because right now there's a lot of stuff happening with our installations. A lot of stuff in the news. I kind of want to keep us out of politics, but unfortunately, we're gonna, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say.
This kind of goes into the Army side of politics.
This
it happens.
Right, it happens.
Over a little,
right?
Or else I would just shut it down, and it's like I'm going to take another week off.
Right. Oh yeah, you know what? By the way, welcome back, Spanky.
One person noticed I've been gone.
I'm sorry. I did.
Yeah. Go sit on a freaking tube and drink beer and screw you guys.
Exactly.
I did miss you too.
I was about to say, goddamn, man, that's not how you were like on the fucking phone.
I bothered him like the whole time I was gone, so it wasn't like I was really gone.
Right, you weren't. You were like,
needed some time.
Right, make sure this is happening. Make sure this is happening. Make sure that's happening. I'm like, okay, yes, of excellence. Anyway, so we should be rocking and rolling. I don't know what happened. I think what it is I think we're peaking some of our sounds and some of the stuff that we're doing. And so I think with that, well, yeah, exactly. The gremlins got us. And again, this is all new tech. We have new tech that we're fucking with. And yes, we're dropping F-bombs and all that. Just want to make sure that we have everybody paying attention right now, because I'm going to be talking about some stuff. Now, we all know what's been going on with rioting. We've had we've had some divisiveness in our country right now with racial issues. Several leaders within the U.S. military have been coming out and discussing their issues that they've had to deal with on race. They've also had senior leaders that have come out. Thanks, Chris. That come out and have discussed their issues they've had with racism. These are senior. We're talking like 3 stars, 4 stars. Coming out and discussing their Sergeant Major of the Army Grinson came out and discussed his racial issues, which was pretty revealing. Not too many people knew that he was half black and half white. So when he dropped that, everyone was like, "Whoa, this is kind of serious." When the SMA is coming out and discussing it, so there's been a lot of stuff going on within our military community that needs to be fucking addressed. And with that comes to the statues of Confederate leaders of the Civil War. I'll be honest with you, and this is from some of my friends that I've discussed it with. And this may sound kind of like a dick or something. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I don't really care about the issue because of where I was raised. And I'll say this again. Where I was raised out west, we only studied about the Civil War in books. Just read books, and you studied school, and you read it, and you're good to go. Everyone knew that the Civil War happened, and there were some issues, and then that was it. No drama for your mama, right?
Right.
Nobody held any issues. From where I was raised in out west, we didn't have any monuments. We didn't have anything that was directly related to the Civil War. There was nothing that was. I mean, we had Indian reservations. We had, symbols of the frontier stuff. Just little simple stuff like that you would not expect to have, that you'd expect to see out west. And you see that, and then, bam, you're good to go. It was just a history lesson. Here's the history lesson of the Indians that did this, your history lesson of, of the expansion of the gold rush. I mean, just a lot of stuff that we would not expect. So when it came to the Civil War, it was part of history, but it was never something that was, very lauded to. It was nothing. I mean, there was no. It was almost like another significant event in history, like where I was raised.
Right. No, and I see that, and I've been raised all over. So I've gotten, in some states you learn more about, what happened in that state. In Texas, that it's like a required course to take Texas history in certain grades.
Correct.
Like even if you go to college, like I'm sure a lot of military members have taken college classes through CTC, because that's just one of the ones that it's very easy to do online.
Right.
Even not just in Texas. I mean, Texas government is part of the government course that you take. Like even if you're not in Texas, and it's just one of those things like I know my kid had to take it in 5th grade and again in 7th grade or whatever grades. I can't remember.
Right.
She's like, I had to take way too much Texas history, but again, it's what you learn here. And, growing up a military kid, I've been all over and, went to school in California there. I didn't learn anything about Texas history, but except for maybe the Alamo.
But you understood, you understood the significance of, just like World War II, right? You knew about the Civil War through history. You knew about Civil War. You knew about
Revolutionary War.
Right.
Exactly.
And you said there was a lot of things that have happened and all that.
Right.
So on Twitter, I collected myself with my, with you know about this. I was kind of like, troubling with some individuals, and I was troubled myself. And again, because I was raised in the West, I don't take these personal. I don't take this personal at all when someone discuss about the history of a post or an installation. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't care. I mean, Fort Hood, didn't know it, didn't research it until I got a little bit older. And because we knew about, like you said, Texas history, you knew about stuff out west. A lot of it, as I was younger, it didn't correlate with me. I just saw Civil War. Civil War.
I didn't know Fort Hood was named after a Confederate general.
Exactly.
I was studying for a Soldier of the Month, my first Soldier of the Month board at Fort Hood.
Bingo. And you right there, you just hit it on the head. That's exactly how I started learning about that. My upbringing, like you said, I was raised both places. I was, from Texas on to California. That was my schooling. So to me, I thought it was normal. Didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't know that the Alamo everybody knows, is where the Texans made their last stand against the enemy, right? I mean, we don't want to say it was Mexico, but it was Mexico. At the time, it was our enemy, right? Not mad at Mexico. It just, at the time, they were our enemy. Just like we're not mad at Germans anymore, even though at the time they were like, I don't know, double fucking the enemy back in the day, back to back. So that's really the cusp of all that. That's really all I can get. Again, I don't take this shit personal. Well, with all the renaming and all this, and the Confederate statue drama coming up, and everyone talking about history and all that, and then talking with some family members of that were on the U.S. Army side, and I say the U.S. Army side because it was the U.S. Army, and then family members that I've got, like I said, I got second family members, close family members that were in the South, and I had a big discussion on it, and I didn't realize just me discussing it would be such a turbulent and such a drama. I mean, it was fucking drama. I was like, man, you weren't even fucking born then, dude. Why you these guys were like, I almost felt like, and I literally had family members getting pissed off at me because I was playing the Civil War music in the background. My dearest Jessica, ICE is making fun of Southern pride, They were getting mad. They were getting pissed. And I'm like, why are you getting pissed? It's not a big, yes, I've had coffee. Oh, tonight's coffee is brought to you by, let's see, this is Coffee Bustelo, and tonight I'm drinking it out of my GoArmySoft.com mug. There you go. Let me flash it right quick. That is the choice of coffee mug for tonight. GoArmy.soft. GoArmySoft.com if you want to see what it's like to and go through assessment and selection for civil affairs, special forces, and PSYOP. You can go ahead and hit them shits right there. Hit GoArmySoft.com, and then you can get a mug. One of my friends is inside the chat right now. He hooked me up with some mugs, so I got me a mug right there. So check it out. Anyway, so let's go back to the story. The reason why is because I'm wrapping this up because I'm going to be pissing a lot of people off. So I sat there and I thought, you know what?
Oh, I'm sure I will too.
Yeah, we were talking about what somebody said a long time ago. Somebody brought up a conversation. Well, not a long time ago, just recently. And they said, hey, Ken, we've had discussions about changing the names of the installations. I'm like, really? For real? Fucking, really? No, we really haven't. I didn't know that. I mean, okay, that's cool. There's those things that you don't know and you get educated by. Then what do a lot of us, if you're interested in history and you're studying history, you have to have an unbiased. You have to look at shit, right? You got to be the. Okay, what's up? Hey, how you doing? What's up with this? What's up with that? You start asking questions. You start going through articles and newspapers and building deeds, and you start going through. You're realizing the exact history of some of the installations of who they're named for. Well, there's installations that were named for Confederate generals. A bunch of Confederate generals. People are gonna get people are gonna get when I say this, the losers.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. They didn't win. I mean, they're not winning at all. They're nobody won. I'm not going to get in the history and of the reconciliation and also the crap and the South will rise again and also their shit. We're talking about the United States Army right now, and in the values of what we have, which is supposed to be the values that we have, our core competencies and our core values of the U.S. Army, which is loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage, right? So there you go. Those right there. We also have the United States Army is diverse in its culture and its membership, officers and enlisted. A diverse culture. We have male, female, black, Hispanic, homosexual. We have everybody's in there. You know what I mean? We're a cornucopia of cultures within serving in within the U.S. Army, and we must be united in the Army values, right? No big deal. I'm totally. Until someone said anything about the issues and all that. I get educated. I do get educated. Somebody says, hey, Ken, did you know this is... I can't fucking know that, man. Let me go check it out. And I get learned. I get learned in education. And I find out, well, shit. I didn't know that this happened, and I didn't know that this was happening. I didn't know that this happened in the past. And I'm just there's so much stuff that I could talk about, but I didn't want to like get everybody bored with specific details. I'm just talking about the Confederate generals. Well, last week, the United States Marine Corps banned the Confederate flag from all installations, vehicles, decals, stickers, coffee mugs, all over the place, right? You cannot have them on in the installation. You get the rebel flag. Rebel flag. I'm correlating a lot of stuff with Star Wars and rebels. So don't get the ass. Don't get, oh, ice, you fuck shit, fuck up. Don't get the ass. I'm going to be triggering a lot of people tonight. So then the United States Navy, the chief of naval operations, said, you know what? Fucking A. We're not, I mean, didn't he really say that, but
I thought
that would be, yeah, it'd be kind of funny to see, to see some admiral going, fucking A, we're canceling this shit. We're not doing this. That no battle flags or whatever, anything that signifies the Confederate stars and bars, whether it be the battle flag. A lot of people like to pick pepper out of fly shit and say, well, that's the Confederate battle flag, not the actual Confederate flag. Motherfucker, we're not talking about semantics here. We know what the fuck meaning is. Because then you can't really fucking make a big deal by saying, oh, well, that's the Confederate battle flag. No, that's the Confederate States. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter at all. So what happens?
We know exactly what you're talking about.
We know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly. Don't play that fucking sly shit with me. So you're not going to get that fucking battle flag. The CNO said, fuck it, we ain't flying shit. I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. I would list. And one of these admirals and generals would sit around the office going, man, fuck that. I ain't flying that shit. Well, then fuck you. It's like Space Force. You see Space Force, right? Those generals are arguing with each other and shit. Back and forth.
I have not watched the show yet.
Oh my God. Well, they all pick on the Coast Guard.
Saving it.
All the chiefs, all the service chiefs pick on the Coast Guard. But the way they break balls with each other is hilarious. I think it's awesome. I think that's what they probably do. They probably break balls with each other. Like, man, we ain't flying no flag. Are you going to fly no flag? And they're like, sitting around the desk, a big room, conference room. All right, Army, what you going to do? Oh, hey, Marines, you gonna get shown up by not flying the flag? Oh, Army, oh, Navy, we're not going to fly no. No, it's down to you, Army. Army says we're going to change your post names.
I'm sure it does happen something like that. I can see it happening.
Oh yeah.
And of course, there's meetings about it.
There's ribbing, and then of course everyone's ribbing around. And then I could just see the drama, everyone getting all pissed off and butthurt about, why. So once the CNO banned all Confederate paraphernalia, then there you go. Well, then a culture shift started to happen. A culture shift within our society that now NASCAR has banned, and I'm not sorry, but NASCAR has banned the Confederate flag. NASCAR. NASCAR, there 500 times on the go on left side, left turn. Raise hell, praise Dale. What? You ain't gonna fly no flag? Sorry, I'm just bringing balls. Not everybody talks like that. That is a fan of NASCAR. But I will say, it's funny as hell. Ooh, I must be a pogue. Oh, did you saw that? Hi, Chris.
I know.
Hi, nice to meet you.
He must have a blue cord.
He must have a blue cord. Oh, we spotted.
We're 34 minutes.
It's only been 34 minutes since we've been called a poke. Wow, that's so sweet. Welcome, Chris, to WTF Nation Radio. Please ensure that you're going to tune in because you're really going to be offended. Spewing idiotic crap. The Confederates are losers. There you go. How about that?
I know. Well, the NASCAR fans, they don't have to worry too much because the real Confederate flag, isn't it like the second to last lap or the last lap or whatever?
Yeah, the white flag.
The white flag.
Ooh, snap. Ooh,
so their flag's still there.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry.
Yeah, way to go. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, damn. Shit. God. Hey, what's up, Heath?
Theirs.
How you doing, man? How you doing, Heath? Long time no see. Narcissistic. At any rate, so that's been banned. Now, a lot of stuff, I'll be honest with you, you start looking at this stuff, and you start looking at the names of the fucking posts. I mean, you start, start seeing the significance of what these generals did for the name of the post. Holy shit. I knew I was going to get hate mail. I really did. I know. I was getting hate mail and drama.
Scary hate mail.
I was getting hate mail from everybody fucking telling me about whatever, and also, you're fucking dick, you're spewing this bullshit. Shut the fuck up, and also the crap. So, for you, Chris, I have something special for you. I am going to show you exactly what I did to piss somebody off all the way at the highest office. I don't know, it's coincidence, but everyone's saying that it is. I posted on Twitter and I posted on Facebook and several other groups to include Dr. Man posted for me altered installation signs with new proposed names that are not Confederate generals. Narcissist symbol. Oh man, this is where you can. Anyways, so for the first one we're talking about right now, everybody knows Fort Lee. Fort Lee's named after who? Who's Fort Lee named after?
I don't know. Maybe Robert
E. Lee, right? It's Robert E. Lee, the commanding general of the rebellion, the rebels, right? So the first sign that we're going to show you is this is what Fort Lee would look like if we were to change the name to Fort Grant. Fort Ulysses S. Grant. That's right. So Robert E. Lee was an American and Confederate soldier known as the commander of the Confederate States Army during the American Civil War. The bad guy, the commander of the bad dudes, right? Who surrendered, right? And so there we go. You know, he's
commander of the losers.
He is.
I mean, that's what it is.
Right. Well, he's considered America's one of the greatest generals, but not the America, whatever.
And you know what I just recently learned, because I did I studied a lot of American history, but most of it, what I studied most of was the Revolutionary War.
Right.
So I had to kind of touch up on my Civil War era,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been trying to read more about that. But because most of my history that I studied is all more ancient history. But did you know that Arlington, where Arlington National Cemetery is, that's land that was confiscated from me?
We took it. Yeah, we took that. That Arlington is how do you like that, rebellions? How do you like that, rebels? We took them shits from the rebels. Arlington is now our territory. That's what I'm talking about.
So that's something that that's your little tip.
There's your little tidbit.
Your little bit of history lesson for today too.
Everyone, you're right. That's what the Confederate flag means, Chris. But however, people have taken akin to it and more sensitive to the situation of what flag to salute. And I'll be honest with you, I really am. If you're gonna wave, if that flag, if getting rid of that flag offends you more than securing our American flag, then there's a problem. I really do. I told you guys last week, I don't bend at the fucking knee for the thin blue line flag, the first responder flag, nothing but U.S. up A. Old Glory. That's the flag that I salute. That's the flag that I have on my fucking casket when I finally fucking go. But wait, there's more. I just say we just number what was it? Just number them so that way nobody gets offended. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Fort Lee's marital status was. I don't know. Was he the same way? God forbid they rename the installations after Bergdahl. You have to do something honorable for that. There's some honorable stuff that has to happen. I love this. Everyone's getting all pissed off. Call me a pogue already.
Right?
Yes.
Calling you a pogue.
Call me a pogue. Thank you so much for calling. It is so cute. I love it. Call me pogue. I don't care. I am a pogue.
You can call me one.
You pogue? Are you pogue?
Offended, and I'm proud of it.
No, you just installations. You're just talking about installation. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that getting people so triggered. For people who say that people get triggered, I'm surprised that people who say they get triggered by this triggered.
I know.
You know what I mean? This is some triggering right now. I am seeing some triggering.
I mean, seriously, over a flag that has no relevance to the time now in 2020.
I just want this.
It does have a place in the history book. Don't get me wrong.
You're right. See, that's the thing.
In a history book.
We're not in a history book.
That's my thing that drives me nuts. It's you're erasing history. Okay, let me just update the history book. In 2000, or in the year 2020, people came to their fucking senses and decided that this doesn't need to be in our face every day.
Right.
I'll put it in a history book.
Right. Well, see. So the thing is that I don't have triggering of excellence. I don't have any issues with. I'll be honest with you, with the monuments and shit. I don't have an issue. I really don't.
I don't have an issue with any of it.
Yeah, because
I personally don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do, and we've evolved as a fucking society.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. We're supposed to have. Here's the thing: for the individuals that say people are getting triggered, oh, you just getting triggered? Are you triggered? Are you triggered? then you're supposed to be evolved not to be triggered your fucking self.
Exactly.
You are not supposed to be. You're talking. If you're talking about something, we're supposed to. Look at that. You're just getting fucking triggered. You're supposed to. You're so fucking snowflake. Well, then you're the evolution that which of you speak of. The triggering that you speak of means that you should not be triggered yourself. To the triggering school of excellence. That's right. We're definitely here to do that. So that's what Fort Grant is. So I mean Fort Lee. I'm already fucking it up. I'm already calling it. Now the reason why I said this is because these memes made it all the way up supposedly to the White House. Supposedly, like within the moment I started blasting them out all over Twitter and I started shooting them out at everybody, because right now I probably have the NSA listening on me. I have fucking so right now D Treasy is gonna fucking he's gonna change my shit. He's probably gonna find out who I am. I need to find out who this guy is and blah 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 blah. Right? You're gonna get butthurt. People are gonna get butthurt.
Just saying hi.
Hey, what's up, D Trees? I know you're listening. Because it was no sooner than those memes went up, a furious fucking tweet came out saying, "We will not name these installations for these great Americans. These are great leaders, and these are this." And I'm thinking they're losers. They're losers. Anyways, so that's who Fort Lee is, right? That's Fort Lee. That's what I think it should be. Fort Grant, right? Over a meme. That's right. Recruiter Times. If anybody to get so recruited to get so freaking to talk about fucking people getting triggered, he sure did get triggered, didn't he? Fucking A. Fucking A. Again, I really don't fucking care. Again. So the next one. What's up? Is Facebook broken again?
No, I don't think so.
Is Facebook broken? No. No, I don't see. I see you. I see you in there. Yeah, I see you. I see you in there, bruh. I just saw somebody. Facebook is broken. And I see all the chats going up, so I see you guys rocking and rolling. Okay, so the next post is going to be Fort Bragg, right? Fort Bragg. Now, Fort Bragg. You think about this. What was that one meme that you sent? Back at Bragg. This is the underrated tweet. So finally, nobody will be able to say back at Bragg and all this other stuff.
Yes, I'll support any action that
right.
will get rid of the term back at Bragg.
Back at Bragg, exactly. It was fucking hilarious. All back on your side, okay.
I can't remember who said that. It was somebody on Twitter.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter too. Okay, so the next is Braxton Bragg. So Braxton Bragg is what Fort Bragg is named after. Is an American career Army officer during the Second Seminole War and Mexican-American War who served as a general in the Confederate Army. The Confederate Army. During the American Civil War. Did you know the Star Wars connotation to the Grand Army of the Republic and the Army? U.S. Army used to be called the Grand Army of the Republic. You can go ahead and hit. You can hit it
one more time.
Yeah, the Grand Army of the Republic. The Grand Army of the Republic was the U.S. Army. The Grand Army Execute Order 66. Hey, Jason, you can hit YouTube. Check out YouTube or check out Twitter. They're actually were both good. So, at any rate, so he served.
So you mean you changed the whole name of the army somehow, and we still exist?
That's right. There you. That's a man, Spanky. That's what I'm talking about. Look at you. Look at the big brain on Spanky. So exactly that. That it is right there. We were able to change the Grand Army of the Republic to the U.S. Army, and nobody gave a shit, right? Nobody gave a crap. Everyone's like, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. No big deal. So for Fort Bragg, he himself is a Confederate general. Loser! Confederate. He is the most important role as a commander of the Army of the Mississippi, later renamed the Army of Tennessee. So, native of Warrenton, North Carolina. That's how he was named in all this other stuff, but it's still his loser. He lost. Confederate. I'm not going to even go through the connotations of slavery and the exchange of slaves during the time if someone, because there was supposedly some gentlemanly type of exchanges in the event someone lost. So if somebody lost war, then they were going to exchange slaves back and forth. So anybody who says that these guys were not talking about slavery, bullshit. You want to talk about history, right? It's history. Do we not change history? Well, we're not changing history. A statue's not fucking history. What is written in the history books is exactly what it is. These generals were passing slaves around like it was no big fucking deal. You guys can quote me on that. I don't give a shit. So, at any rate, so back to back. So, Fort Bragg. Now, Fort Bragg, when you think of Fort Bragg, you think the 2nd, 18th Airborne Corps, Special Operations. Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg, man. That's Fort Bragg. To be stationed at Fort Bragg is considered like to be the center of the universe, right? We better hurry
I
up.
mean, they like to think so.
We like to, well, I mean, we better hurry up and call it the Space Force because I think they're going to have some copyright infringement stuff. Can't wait for their podcast to go up. Those guys are going to be fucking, those guys are hilarious. But yeah, I'm just thinking, okay, well, again, I don't think it's a big deal because, that's Fort Bragg. You're right. It's what they fucking did. So I decided again to, hey, let's see what happens if we were to name for Fort Bragg to Fort Ridgeway. And here is the sign. Yeah, exactly. You damn right, Jason. Braxton Bragg was the leg.
No way.
Yeah, he was a damn leg.
Because they have things for them to jump out of yet.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So exactly. So well, I don't know. He didn't. Well, they didn't. Well, they had balloons. They had observation balloons and shit like that.
They could have found something high up for somebody to jump off of.
Right, exactly. Airborne. My dearest Jessica, today I fell out of a balloon. Oh my God, exactly. Sorry, Boris Gump. So let's check this out. So General Ridgway, Matthew Ridgway, okay, airborne extraordinaire, the commanding general of the 82nd Airborne Division, leading action in the Sicily, Italy, and Normandy. Right? Battle of the Bulge and shit. West Side Allied invasion. A winner. Winning and shit. Not like that Bragg guy. I'm looking at all my mentions right now. They're exploding in my freaking. I'm getting all these PMs. I don't know. Have message requests going on right now.
I mean,
yeah, of course you're gonna say Fort Binky. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are freaking. Ooh, Fort Tupac. I wouldn't mind that.
I mean, was he even in the army or anything?
No,
I don't think that'll work.
Okay, so well, there you go. See, I'm so glad everyone talked about Fort Gavin because I, in my meme dumb, and because I am a meme DeLorean, I was able to. There you go. Now look at the sign now. Could you imagine pulling up and looking at Fort Gavin? See General Ridgway real quick. God, you guys are sensitive. Yeah, everyone's crying in there. You see everybody whining in the chat? You know what? You realize that when you, and Spanky knows my personality, the more this happens, the more I do it. The more memes you will get. The triggering will happen. Wait till I get to the rest of the fucking slides. Holy shit. Then you get the graphics that I did. You're going to freak the hell out. People are going to be like, clutching pearls and shit. Oh, man.
I can't even keep up with all the chats. I'm trying to read them.
I know.
all
My
out.
chats are going nuts right now because everyone said, you're going to do this stuff.
I'm getting them on Twitter. I'm
Right.
getting them Mixer, both the Facebooks. I haven't even looked at YouTube yet. So if
I got tracking on YouTube. I saw some people on YouTube. So I saw some. Yeah. So Riley Brown, hey, how you doing? So I see some YouTubers in there. So let's go back to so again. So Ridgway Airborne. Airborne. That's what I'm talking about. He's second Airborne and shit. No big deal, right? And then was given the command of 18th Airborne Corps, commanding the 82nd, who was passed to General Gavin. There you go, General Gavin right there. Bam, General Gavin. You see him right there. You see the sign. It's named General Gavin. All you 82nd guys should be going, rah, 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 airborne, rah, airborne, airborne, airborne. Who Ardennes behoove Longstreet, rah, rah, rah. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not one of those, Fort Bragg people, so y'all can have this one. Go right ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Be stationed at Fort Custer. I think that's Fort Custer should be named that should be like Fort Polk because every unit loses at Fort Polk when you go to JRTC. So Ridgway was given command of the 18th Airborne Corps, and then he passed the command to General Gavin. More airborne-ness, right? Winners. I said it, D. Treasy. Winners. Winners. There you go. Those are winners, not Braxton Bragg. Now, because I didn't know this, I didn't realize how much sentiment and how much rage there was so much about specific generals. You know what I'm talking about? There's one person there's one thing more than you tell somebody you can't have the battle flag. There's something that something that's more hated more than that. It's General Sherman. General Sherman. I did not realize until studying it up, and then again, because I'm from the West. I don't care. General Sherman, no big deal. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. No big deal. I didn't know how much drama is just saying his name.
Go on.
You say General Sherman and people freak out. It's like you're going to say fucking Beetlejuice.
Do you say it 3 times?
You say it 3 times, he's gonna burn your he's gonna burn your fucking city down. You say General Sherman 3 times. You see he's gonna pop out. He's gonna be like Candyman. He's gonna be like Candyman, Bloody Mary, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, and fucking that's it. Bam. There you go. So Fort Sherman, North Carolina has a great ring to it, don't it?
I like it.
You like that Fort Sherman? See, Fort Sherman. So
it sounds like ice cream to me.
it does, yeah, exactly. Fort Sherman. So William Tecumseh. I don't even know how to pronounce his name because, like I said, I only studied General Sherman, knew what he did. I knew he fucked up. Well, as I'm researching it, General Sherman. I even said it 5 times. General Sherman. General Sherbert. So I said General Sherman to somebody, and we're talking, and they went to the Citadel, right? I don't know, fucking no big deal. I have a lot of officer friends, and I have, because obviously through my tenureship and my years of experience in the Army, even though I sound like a fucking, like a kid myself, and I'm amped up on coffee right now, I said, hey, what about some General Sherman memes? And I'm like, what? I did some General Sherman memes, and dude, he was sending it back. I was getting so much fucking hate mail. I was like, holy crap. You would have thought I had done the most unholiest thing to a religious anything. It was worse. Doing General Sherman memes or posting a fake sign of General Sherman was worse than taking down a Confederate statue. You could have just said General Sherman. I did not know this. You have just given me ammunition to poke.
I'm gonna have to do a lot more research on this guy now because
General Sherman, okay, was an American. Dude, this guy here, General Sherman. For you guys don't know, because again, our audience is global. I see you out there in Australia. Hey, what's going on? I see you, Paul from Nepal. I see you out there in Taipei. So, General Sherman was an American soldier, businessman, educator, and all this other stuff. And he fucking, he was fucking general, right? He was commanded, graduated from West Point. You look at General Sherman, he looks like he didn't graduate West Point. He looked like he just came back from from Mickey's or something. he looked like us. So he, of course, distinguished himself, the Battle of Bull Run, and no big deal, right? And then he was like pessimist and shit, and he was kind of a, Well, the biggest thing that everyone freaked out about was I didn't know this, they saw that it was atrocities. Because he went through and destroyed fucking Atlanta. Like just fucked everything up.
Wow.
A winner. He's a fucking winner. So he invaded the state of Georgia with 3 armies of 60,000 strong. Army of the Cumberland. I mean, just power. I love it. I didn't realize how aggressive General Sherman. I have friends from Twitter DM me and some discussions about General Sherman and gave me some more insight on General Sherman. Holy shit! This guy was more badass than I thought he already was. As badass. He captured Atlanta. He burnt it to the fucking ground. They call it, the March to the Sea and shit. It was awesome. Fort Cletus. Fort 3 Cletus. Fort 3, I like that. Fort Cletus. So, he literally was like the fucking, he was the chart. Dude, I'm telling you, he fucking, now of course his he believed in the total warfare concept, right? He believed in just destroying everything. There was no, I wouldn't say there was no chivalry. He just decided to destroy, whatever. But what's that? Let's not discuss how. Wait, hang on. Let me go back. What was it? Let's also discuss how he abandoned slaves who were there fleeing behind his army. How he abandoned. I wasn't there, man. Everyone says that I was around in the Civil War time, but I wasn't there. You have to go.
Really not that old.
I'm not that old. Well, actually, I'm a little bit older. I was in the Revolutionary War. You got the Civil War wrong, so I wasn't really there at the time. I was actually getting ready to go to basic training after it. But anyways, he was actually promoted to General of the Army. So freaking so General of the Army. What was it? Congress created General of the Army for Grant, and then promoted Sherman to Lieutenant General. And then when Grant became president, he appointed Commanding General of the United States Army, promoted General of the Army. So he's General of the Army, right? Freaking General Murray. But he destroyed Atlanta. He destroyed Georgia so bad that still to this day, it's almost like the freaking Hatfield McCoy shit. It's like that rivalry. You say General Sherman and General Sherman this and General Sherman that. So me, like, myself, I'm a fire starter. And I like to start shit. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to renaming Fort Benning, which is in Columbus, Georgia, right? Fort Benning, right? Renaming Fort Benning to Fort Sherman. General Sherman, there you go, baby. There's your freaking fort in Georgia, home of the Maneuver Center, right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Approved.
So everyone's gonna get the ass at me and say, "Oh, you guys are talking shit." And all that. Everyone's in my mentions right now are fucking blowing up on my DMs. I hope you retweet this and at the president and at his press secretary, please. Because she totally fucked up with the speech.
Oh gosh,
it was the most. I cannot fucking. But I was hanging out.
I was embarrassed to listen to that.
To that point, to where the reason why these names should not be changed, she said, was because when we leave our installation, when you leave Fort Bragg, that's the last place you want to be remembered by, and it's hollowed ground, and this is and soldiers remember that. They want to remember. So I'm just thinking and breaking balls with some of my friends, and I'm like, you know what? The last thing I'd want, if I was still in and I got wounded, I'm pretty sure some of my friends and all that, and I'm sure U.S. soldiers that have been killed in combat went, remember Fort Bragg.
Remember when I fell?
Remember. They didn't say that shit. They're like, say, hey, I miss my mom, tell my wife I love her, type of shit. They didn't sit there and say, oh, tell Fort Bragg tell Fort Benning I miss them.
I don't get all political, but okay, so every single one of those senators and congressmen, the next time they have a round of freaking brat closings, oh no, we have soldiers that this was the last ground they seen on U.S. soil before they went overseas and died here. We can't close this fucking base now. Is that, that's their argument now. Like, no, this came straight from the fucking White House. Like, that's their new argument. Like, no, you said it your fucking self. We can't close bases anymore. And we can't, next time they want to do a round of freaking, how many bases have they closed before? I'm sure the one wherever my dad was been.
Right, exactly. So everyone's okay. I have to look at some of my mentions right now because my DMs are blowing up. No, we've not renamed it Fort Sherman. Okay, there's old people going, oh my god, the Fort Sherman. we got old guys. We got holy shit. The first what was it? Oh my god, it's the first Civil War veteran that knows how to use Facebook. We got Fort Sherman. we're bringing up them rebels from the dead. They're rising from the dead. That's how. Is that like a zombie apocalypse? Is that what's gonna happen? All the zombies from all the Confederate soldiers are gonna fucking rise from the dead when we name the post. That's the next thing on 2020 bingo.
Shit, now you said it.
Oh my god,
it's gonna happen.
So Fort Sherman, that's what we're just breaking balls about. Fort Sherman would be the replacement for Fort Benning, and yes, people are actually believing this. The zombie South shall rise again. That's right, Chris. Raise hell, praise Dale. Oh, this is gonna get better too. You guys are gonna really flip the fuck out. Okay, so there's more. Okay, so Fort Sherman would be obviously replaced for Benning. Now the next one that we're talking about now is Fort Hood. Now Fort Hood. Everyone has conflicting stories about what story is with Fort Hood. Why is Fort Hood? Why are you picking on Fort Hood? Fort Hood didn't do nothing.
Y'all know I love Hood.
I like Hood too. I was like, everyone's like, these installations don't have feelings. Trust me, they're not going to get mad at you if you change their fucking name.
And I may be one of the people that says, this is a pretty hood type place.
Right.
It's a little trashy sometimes. I've been here through the best of times and the worst of times.
Right, exactly.
I came here the first time in '96, and I'm still here.
Right. So we're gonna this before we go on break. We're just gonna talk about Fort Hood. And right now, Fort Hood is named after Confederate General John Bell Hood. Right, John Bell Hood. Now, John Bell Hood was the one that was into freaking. I'm telling you, man. He had slaves. I'll be honest with you. That dude was like shady as fuck. I'm sorry, fucking loser. Sorry.
He worked for General Longstreet before he got hurt and came out this way.
Right. I don't know how. I can't justify keeping the names. Is what I'm saying. This is the enemy. Do you see Camp Hitler fucking anywhere? We're gonna go ahead and name where's New Braunfels? Is there a post near New Braunfels? There's a bunch of Germans there, right? New Braunfels, that's what it's called for. We're gonna name it, a Fort Himmler or some shit. Because we name our enemies that way.
It's all German names,
right?
Because if you try to look at the signs, it's like, oh, is that green? No, it's green. Okay, I got it now. I don't even know how to pronounce half the towns around that area.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Spanish, it's all German.
Yeah, exactly. So you're gonna start naming some stuff and like that. But everyone, of course, John Bell Hood. Everyone talked about him being a great leader, blah blah blah. You know, he's got his freaking legacy, being an aggressive general. Yeah, look up some history about him and owning of slaves, and how did he feel about owning slaves? The Adolf Hitler Center of Equal Opportunity Excellence. Oh my God, Chris, that's right. See, we don't name that.
Yeah, and there's I need to look up because I know like Fort Hood is in Bell County,
right? Like
the county here is named, from his middle name. There's a Hood County, Texas too, that's named after him as well. It's like, oh gosh, like. There's too many things. I know there was like there was a school that was named after him, but it got renamed in 2015. It's not named after him anymore. So, yeah. Yes.
We don't care about that because he really wanted to have his own. Everyone says, nobody wants to admit that he has slaves, but even though there's historical records and letters that he has slaves, that's history, right? It wasn't a fucking statue. It's not a post. So it suggested that it was kind of suggested he had slaves because, he talked about, having some large amount of land that needed upkeep. So, motherfucker, what do you think he had back in the day? you think you look at, you can make the correlation. There were some Nazi POWs at Fort Bliss, that's right. There were. So, my joking around because of a great Texan and Special Forces legend is if you guys don't know who this guy is, this is what I suggested. Again, I just did a meme, okay? I just did these memes and people freak the fuck out. Fort Benavidez. Now, if you guys do you need to go into the background of who Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez is? I mean, the dude is a badass. Master Sergeant Benavidez. The guy's gonna get a comic book after. Okay, real quick. His story is so freaking amazing. What happened during the Vietnam War and what happened to him, how he was wounded, what happened. The guy was dead, and he was God. He was on a 12-man Special Forces, an A team, and had some Montagnard tribesmen, and he was surrounded by NVA, and he heard a radio appeal for help and boarded a helicopter, armed only with a knife, jumped from the helicopter and his medic bag, to help the trap patrol. He distinguished himself by a series of daring and extremely valorous actions, and because his gallant choice to join voluntarily with his comrades that were in critical status, he exposed himself constantly to withering enemy fire. And his refusal to be stopped by several, he was getting shot as he was fucking moving. He was moving, getting hit, and aiding his teammates. At one point of the battle, an NVA soldier grabbed him and stabbed him with his bayonet. Benavidez pulled it out and yanked out his own knife and stabbed him. That's fucking nuts, dude. Holy shit. If I get stabbed, I'm like, Okay, I'll be a pogue then. There you go, Chris. There's your pogue there. I get stabbed, I'll be like, ugh, whatever. I mean, I don't know what it would be like to get stabbed. So he was evac to the camp and he was laid down and they thought he was dead. They thought he was dead. Okay, they put him in a body bag and then piled him up with other body bags. Then he was kind of moving around. And the doctor said, yeah, he's dead. We're going to zip it up.
That's crazy.
And he zipped as the doctor was is zipping up the thing. Benavidez looked at him and spit in his face. He had 37 separate bullet, bayonet, and shrapnel wounds in the 6-hour firefight with the enemy.
That's not enough. That wasn't enough to kill him.
That wasn't enough to kill him. There's more detailed, of course, accounts of him. But there was no living witnesses that what everyone calls, 6 hours of hell. So there was a living witness though, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, there was." And it was the former radio man of Benavidez's fucking special forces team. So why would he not? Why would he not be given that?
Even if it's not hood, there's plenty.
There
of them.
is plenty. You know, as a matter of fact, I should have done a graphic for naming Fort Bragg to Fort Benavides, because he's a Special Forces legend. Now there is a
He was
push.
just from Texas.
He was just from Texas, but there's a large. He was, but after he got out, he spoke. He spoke with you know, for his time. He was a speaker. He visited various high schools and talked about staying in school, how important it was to be involved in education. He talked about experiences being a Mexican-American orphan. He talked about his experiences in Vietnam. So he literally is, I mean, he died at the age of 63. He had respiratory failure, and he had complications from diabetes. But he really was the guy that he told the press that the the Social Security Administration planned to cut off disability payments that he'd been receiving since his retirement, as well as disability payments to 1,000 of other veterans. He went to Capitol Hill with to talk to the House Senate Committee on Aging to abandon their plans, and which they did. They stopped it. So not only was he vocal within the veteran community, he was also vocal in his local community in Texas. All over Texas, he would speak at high schools. There's several videos. We're going to post some later on this week about Master Sergeant Benavides, because I'm not going to stop on this myself. This is going to be my personal campaign. Because after we take a break, there's something else that's going to, it's going to choke you up. I struggled to go through this thing. I was talking with some people for the next story after the break, and I couldn't. I literally had to stop myself a couple times because this was an amazing story, and there's sort of going to be there's going to be more follow up to that. You guys it's going to be awesome. So with that, I want to go ahead and just continue talking about Benavides. But anyways, so he was talking through the local community. He would visit high schools. He sat in graduations and discussed how important it is to stay in school, how important it is to reach and strive for your goals. The guy had, so he had freaking enough medals and he would tell his story. That dude was freaking unbelievable. He was, the buildings and honor that he already has. I mean, he's got the Benavides American Legion Post in San Antonio, Texas. He's got the Naval Reserve, the Army Reserve Center at NASS Corpus. He's got the Artillery Center, Area 67. He's got so many Benavides named after them. Let's just go ahead and round it up and put the cherry on top and name a post on it.
Might as well.
Fort Hood.
I approved.
Fort Hood.
Approved.
So, D. Treasy, if you're listening, that is a hero. That is a hero. What's the press secretary name? Whatever her name is, that is a hero.
That chick.
That chick, yeah. Okay, is it easy to say chick? Hey,
She's
Twitter, is it okay to say chick? I don't want to.
I said it.
Okay,
you
said chick.
I'll say what I want.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Because I don't want anybody to get the ISIS being sexist and
not saying that all the other people are, not the posts are during their time. There was a reason that the posts were named after him. It was because those generals were there doing a job, and it's like, oh, name it after him. Okay, they had their reasons then. At that time, there's a reason to change it now. That's my opinion.
Right, there is a reason to change it now. I mean, back then, there's probably a reason for its historical accounts. I got it.
There was, like just said, the people that were in charge of naming shit then had their reasons, and like I said, there's a reason to change it now. That's the way I look at it.
Right. Everyone's going to sit there and say, well, we have issues, we have this, we have that, blah blah blah. This guy. No. The first moon base, no. See, now we're going to get to that in a minute. That's a good question, Scott. You had to ask because I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit after the break some criteria of the next story because I wanted to save this last story, this incredible story about an NCO. And I want you guys to check it out or listen to it and all this other stuff. What's going to cost to rename all the installations and streets? Just when you replace it, just make a new one. When it's time, I don't know. When it's time to when it's time to fucking print out some new stationery, don't say Fort Hood. Put Fort Benavides on there. There's your start. Small incremental changes. How are we going to rename units and streets? A lot of the way those names or units of streets are named after battles and stuff too. So there's a lot of stuff that of its significance. But I'm gonna I'll capture all that stuff in a minute because there's something that somebody brought to my attention. I was like, you know what? Shut the fuck up on some of this shit. Again, this stuff is making me so mad on discussing it that it serves no purpose to argue about it. And other than the fact that these are Confederate generals, I'm talking about just Confederate generals. Okay, I'm not talking about the rest of the installation. I'm not talking about Fort Drum. I'm not talking. Oh, did you want to get a name for a corps? Shut up. We're talking about Confederate generals.
Right.
Everyone's like, I need some more coffee. Yeah, I do need some more coffee. So we'll be right back. Everybody get some shots. I'll refresh your coffee and then go take a piss break. We'll be right back. Stand by.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Is this where you draw the line? 'Cause it's so sad. Tell me where you lost your faith. Is it so bad? Couldn't see it in your face. And it's so sad. I'll wait until you come back. Come back down to me. I'll wait
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show.
Even the president thinks that he can or cannot change or whatever. Now, what people don't realize is that the Army has... all belongs to, just like right now, the president didn't stop the chief of naval operations from canceling all the from what was it, the CNO when he said no more Confederate battle flags. Since you guys want to be so nitpicky, it's a Confederate battle flag, ice. Okay, the stars and bars, that thing, the General Lee freaking thing that's on top of the General Lee and Dukes of Hazzard. I like that show when I was a kid, by the way. Didn't you know? Me too. It was. I mean, come on, it came on right after the A-Team, or right before the A-Team. The Chief of Naval Operations banned all installations, and the Marine Corps did too. So the president didn't stop that. Why? Because in a democracy, the way things work is that there's specific regulatory guidances in there. There is actually a requirement. There's actually something regulatory of naming of installations that is considered of what considered would be a national hero of absolute preeminence or virtue by virtue of high position. Those guys ain't national heroes. Individual who held a position high or extensive responsibility, Army and above, they weren't in this Army, and whose death was a result of battle wounds. An individual who held a high position of high and extensive responsibility from those deaths will not result of battle wounds. An individual who performed an act of heroism who held a high responsibility and whose death was not a result of battle wounds. And the individual who performed an act of heroism who held a position high of responsibility whose death was not. Okay, so let's go back to 1958, AR 1-30, which is the Administration Department of the Army Memorialization Program that superseded 15-190. Removed the responsibility of naming the installations from the Memorialization Board and transferred to the Headquarters Department of the Army. So in turn, AR 1-33 of that regulation added a list of appropriate memorialization projects of each category. For example, it would be appropriate to name a large military installation after a person in Category 2, and it would be appropriate naming a building or a street after a person in Category 5. The final decision on name of the post is still maintained by Headquarters DA. So on 15 January 1981, that revision named the Chief of Staff as a responsible individual for naming the installations. Nowhere does it say the fucking president, okay? The current AR 1-33 became effective on 30 June 2006 and redefined and expanded the categories of individuals to be memorialized and listed appropriate memorialization programs for each category. The naming of the installations is now responsible for the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Manpower and Reserve Affairs. What is that? Oh, that's my coffee. Is that you? Me? What? That's my coffee beeper? The director.
Must be. Mine was on mute.
Yeah. The director of the Installation Management Agency is responsible for naming the streets, buildings, facilities of all military installations except medical installations. Where the commander of the U.S. Army Medical Command has the approval authority, and the U.S. Military Academy, where the superintendent of the United States Military Academy has approval authority. So look, nothing there has anything to do with democracy. Okay. This is an army issue, just like the banning of the Confederate battle flags or stars and bars or Confederate States of Union flag, whatever the fuck you want to call it to try to circumvent the argument. That's what it is.
Right.
The Chief of Naval Operations, that flag, the Chief of Naval Operations said that flag will not be on there. The Commandant of the U.S. Marine Corps said that flag will not be on installations. Guess what? That happened already. Why isn't the president going after the Army and the Marine Corps? He's probably going to hear this right now and go, I didn't go after the Army and the Marine Corps. No, because it's up to the service chiefs. And I just read it right now who the responsibility was. The Assistant Secretary of the Army for Manpower and Reserve Affairs. Okay? Nothing to do with democracy. Has nothing to do with that at all.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like, we don't follow all the same rules.
Right.
Like, we don't have the same freedoms of speech, in the military. I mean, not all of our rights are taken away when we sign our life away to the military, but we don't have the same freedoms.
No, TJ, no, hey, TJ, no. Master Sergeant Benavidez, that's Fort Benavidez. He is a Master Sergeant. Roy Benavidez is a Master Sergeant, Special Forces Master Sergeant. The next story I'm going to talk about after we go through this political stuff right here, and everyone's trying to hem-haw around it, I'm going to bring up another story that's going to get you fucking. It's going to get you. This is the story that I'm going to talk about in a minute. So right now, when we're talking about this stuff, this is regulatory stuff that was already in the Army before you could talk about changing whatever. Now I'm going to tell you something else. All these leaders that have been talking shit. About it's a change of history and all. Lindsey Graham. I'm going to get political. I could be political on this right now. I'm out, right? I'm going to have like little black fucking helicopters. Okay.
A little bit.
Right. They're going to come out. Hey, what's up, Gary? How you doing, man? They're not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, we can't do this. Believe it or not, where were you guys at when they were tearing down historical monuments and stuff on post? You remember on Fort Hood, there was a lot of those old buildings and stuff that people were fighting for, and the Army said, nah, fuck it, turn it down.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Well, there was a couple.
The original post headquarters.
There was some significance. There was some memorial significance that everyone's freaking out about. Oh no, you're erasing history. You know what the Army said? Fuck it, close it. Fort Bragg right now, the United States Army Special Warfare Museum is going to get shuttered. It's going to get closed. Priceless artifacts from the OSS all the way to now to present are stored in that museum. You know what's happened in that museum? It got torn down once, and it got moved to a temporary location. And you know what happened then? It's gone. It's going to get closed down, and so shit's going to get put in storage. So I would be honest with you, choose your fucking heritage, your military heritage inside the installations first before you bitch about the fucking name. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Everyone's going to sit there and say, well, fucking, it's kind of like unfair. What do you mean? You mean all those artifacts? Yeah, all those artifacts. Yeah, all of them. I mean, there was a couple on 40. There was what was it? There was a second Armor Division. Remember the second Armor Division Museum?
Yes, there was second Armor Division Museum. It is now the. Oh gosh,
what was it called?
So long since I go over that side of the post.
Right, but there was some mad drama with if there's a new museum.
They did change it to the 4th ID Museum. It's not that anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What I'm saying though, TJ, is that there's a new SF museum opening, but there was individuals that didn't give a fuck and said, oh well, whatever. Oh well, there's a new one there. Do you know that's going to be opening? Are you sure? I mean, I'm kind of connected to that community, so I mean, I would know. I mean, but if you got anything else, just drop it in the inbox at USArmyWTFmoments.com, or I'm sorry, at WTFNationRadio.com. Contact it. Send me the deets. Because I did a walkthrough. I did a behind-the-scenes walkthrough of these new dioramas they were going to put up there, and I did a live broadcast. And the folks over from the Special Warfare Museum invited me in to get a sneak peek. That's pretty fucking cool. But again, my point being is that they were tearing buildings down all left and right on installations, and everyone's like, you didn't see anybody going there, my history. Hey, guess what? I didn't see you get mad when they were tearing shit down at Fort Hood or Fort Bragg, right? Isn't that Civil War history too? Where's some Civil War buildings around here? You know what I mean?
No, it's kind of funny that I remember going back, to when I was in SLC, they took us to this place where a Civil War battle happened. I'm like, it's a field. That's where y'all took us. Like, okay, this is where this battle happened, and that's history. It's a field. I was really looking around. Okay, it's a field. Right. That's history.
That's history. So you're upset about? You guys are really upset about dirt. They're gonna pull that down. That's a Civil War battlefield. And I'm like, okay. Well, and they find no bones, and they get the ass about that.
Yeah, I mean, but that literally all it was a field. That's where they took us. It was a field, and then they took us to the town over to have lunch. But I mean, they're gonna build something on that field probably eventually. I don't know, but things like that happen. I'm sure there are plenty of battlefields out there that things have been built on over the years. So what's going to happen then? Oh, my history. History belongs in history books.
It happened.
Completely agree with that.
We all know what happened. No, I mean, right. I know what happened.
Look far enough back. It's like history is written by the winners. And I don't think that is going to be a problem like it was in the past.
Right.
Because we all witness history, and history gets written on the internet now.
Oh my God, isn't that so cool? With memes, videos, Facebook pages, and shit like that, history is fire now. It's awesome. It's almost instantaneous how much history is coming out. Don't delete that Facebook page. It's history. Really not
yeah,
gonna.
But once it's on the internet, it's forever. So it's gonna be up.
It's always going to be up there. You're not exactly. Well, I think about that. Yeah, that's right. All those historical documents that are up there that discuss how much of a loser Bragg and fucking
right
and Benning were, they'll suck. Again,
and that's what's happening now. Is
right.
Like, people are going to get to decide how they want to interpret history. If they wanted to say, "Hey, no, he was a slave owner as well as Confederate general, and I don't want to memorialize him with his name on it,"
right.
as of his book.
And like we were saying, though, Spanky, we're kind of like raised differently to think that it was part of history. Yes, it was part of history, but there was no need to memorialize. I mean, so when I saw my Civil War memorial, I'm like, I kind of looked at it like it's a Civil War memorial. Oh, let me check it out. And then the next thing you know, it's like. It's some fucking general that was Confederate there, and it said CSA all over it. I'm like, okay. I guess I just walked over there. Didn't even take a picture of it. I was like, I'm not gonna tell you where it's at because they're like taking them down, man. See that shit? They're taking that out like quick. But I just didn't freaking. I didn't freaking no. I looked at it, I was like, I don't see the significance of like you said, I don't care. I mean, I look at something, I don't see it's significant. If a World War II museum and talks about the World War II stuff and all that, I can see a little bit more personal because there's some significance of that. I guarantee it, there is no fucking posts overseas that are named after fucking us, after kicking their ass. We named our own posts, our own installations after our own there's Patton Kasern overseas in Germany. You know what I mean? There was some of our own naming of our naming.
No, I'm pretty sure Japan probably doesn't have a Japanese post named like Roosevelt. Or
yeah. Or the Missouri, because Fort Missouri, because that's the boat the USS Missouri they surrendered on after we nuked them a couple times. Where are most Civil War monuments located? In the South, right? So I mean, I don't see. But why deface? That was not deface. Stop that right there. You don't even believe. See, here we go again. We're fucking around with history. There are two memes that are out there that are 100% false. Because I had somebody verify it. I like literally I said, "Hey, you live in DC, right? Where you need the Lincoln Monument? Yeah, can you FaceTime with me?" And they walked over, and that's a meme. That is a meme. It is fake as hell. And there's another meme of a picture of a Vietnam Veterans War Memorial, a traveling one that was vandalized in 2016, and it was false. That individual was arrested, and once he was arrested, his punishment was cleaning. He was cleaning he had to clean the memorial, and then he had to maintain the grounds or something like that. And he did community service. He was like a kid that did it or something like that. Yeah, Fort Enola Gay, Camp Little Boy, or was it Fat Man Post or whatever. That's not it. That's a different museum. That is a different museum, bro. That's not it. I'm talking about the one that's on Bragg. At any rate, but yeah. So those posts right there, those are not going to happen. So again, when everyone talks about it being like Gary said in the chat, the Army's not a democracy. It's going to do something that's regulatory. With it's change of the Army culture. That's normal. Did you know women could not go to West Point? The Army changed that. Did you know the Army was segregated at one time? The Army changed that.
Oh, did you know that gays couldn't serve?
The Army changed that.
In the time while I was in,
don't ask, don't tell. The Army changed that. There was some change.
Yes. Now, I mean, gosh, we can even, gay people can even marry.
They could even get married to each other, right? Exactly. Now, and then the Army changed that.
Independence, even.
And then the Army changed
That's
that.
happened in the last, since we've all been in. Things change. It's not too far of a stretch to, change the name of a post.
Right. Not at all.
After some losing generals.
Right. After some losing generals, that's right. I can say, because my family members that are from the West were kind of like, oh, okay. Because I got family members that are from the South and the West and overseas, and we're just kind of like,
Oh yeah, same here.
It's like, okay. I mean,
Mom was born in Georgia. was raised in Florida. My dad was born in Louisiana.
General Sherman.
Lived all over the place.
So that every time I hear Georgia now, I want to say General Sherman 5 times or 3 times, like Beetlejuice. So a lot of it, the Army has changed for the good. Think about it. My daughter, if she wants to join the Army and she wants to be a helicopter pilot, the Army changes that. The Army because A, women didn't fly helicopters. B, women weren't allowed at West Point. She wants to be an officer. She wants to fly helicopters and she wants to go to West Point. So duh. So that means what? That all those changes in place is what, nah. Everyone, freedom and service is the right of all sentient beings, like Optimus Prime says. So I'm more involved. I mean, I don't understand why it should be it should be just a dead issue. Yeah, exactly that, Brandon. That change will not happen until some generals are moved out. So I think everyone said, that's a good point, Ari. Everyone freaked out when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was lifted. Everyone freaked out. Oh my God, this is gonna be, it's gonna suck. This is gonna be, oh my God, they're gonna just like be crazy and all this stuff. I've got a great mentor. I got some great mentors. I tweeted, I'm gonna tell you what his name is John. He is the SGS for the 18th Airborne Corps, and Mr. Kondrowski is that dude. Everybody knows. He's gonna come on and shoot the shit about us and discuss about all that stuff. But my point being, he is a great mentor. Everybody knew he was gay, but we didn't care. Why? Because he still served in special operations assignments. He still kicked ass and took names when he deployed, and that at all was not even an issue. Didn't even know. I mean, nobody really.
But who would have thunk it? That,
I'm saying, but it's nobody's fucking.
People can like fire a weapon just.
Well, no, what I'm saying though is, what I'm saying though is, but it shouldn't fucking matter. The whole point is that it shouldn't matter. Even General Mattis, who everyone is having issue, it should not fucking matter. General Mattis even said, "What 2 consenting adults do behind closed doors is not my business." It's just like church. There's a reason why there's doors in a church. Don't peek in if you don't want to see what you don't like. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole meaning of it. You're supposed to change that.
That was like a huge part of the reason why we became our own country.
It's sort of kind of like that freedom stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
life of pursuit, happiness, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And we have shit posters that don't even
wrote our whole constitution
that disrespect our generals that are out. I'm gonna call Fox News out because I like calling them out. How come you guys, hey Fox, how come you don't have your veteran guys on there talking about this stuff? How come you don't have your veteran guys up there talking and backing up General Milley? General Milley walked out for a photo op with the president. Admitted himself that we are an apolitical army. We're supposed to be apolitical and apologized.
Where did I read that?
And he got shit for it. He got shit for apology. He is, I'm telling you what, it takes a sack to stand in front of the entire world and say, I apologize for becoming a political prop. I should not have been there, is what he said. Nothing wrong with that. So I do not agree with everyone shitting on him. And I tell you what, they come back in, because everyone's silent. Man, I can't believe I'm doing this. We're not supposed to be calling people out, but I'm gonna call them out. Everyone,
dude,
all of them, all the vet guys that are on Fox News that always like to shoot the shit about how the left is doing that and the right's not doing what the right's supposed to be doing, all that. You had a freaking press secretary that couldn't even understand the meaning of what the installations are for. I don't die for Fort Bragg. Not at all. Did you know that?
No, this is not TV.
This is not TV. Exactly that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for tuning in to U.S. Army WTF and WTF Nation Radio. You're going to get the full fucking facts. I don't give 2 shits.
I cringed so hard when I watched that.
When he said that, I was like,
oh, okay. No, I can go die in Afghanistan, but just please don't change the name of Fort Polk.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But my thing is that everyone's cracking on him. Not one single veteran of the so-called veteran community popped out and supported General Milley in this shit. And if we're supposed to be apolitical and also the crap, then help a teammate out. Do I agree sometimes with what the commands do? Shit, we have a whole fucking page dedicated to that.
That's like
it's U.S. Army
of our job.
Yeah, it's not even, it's to keep us in check, to work foster a better relationship with our Army partners. I'll be honest with you, our relationship with the Army is getting better from what it used to be 10 years ago. Almost 11. Goddamn, 11 years ago. God, 11 years.
God, get old.
I feel old, right?
Right.
So when you get to that point, then you're supposed to be supporting your veteran community. We're not supposed to beat each other up and fucking talk shit. Veteran empowerment is what we're all about. You know, I've got friends that are on the right side of the spectrum, the left side of the spectrum, the libertarian side of the spectrum. Sometimes you're some whacked out, like, whoa, dude, whatever. But you know what? They ask me for help, and we still shoot the shit and talk crap to each other. We don't sit there and hold our fucking political beliefs against each other and all that. So, like you said before, remember that one time we were in the chats, that one guy was calling us a raging fucking liberal 1 minute, and then the next thing you know, they were calling us a raging fucking conservative in the other. I'm like, well, make up your mind, dude. Who the fuck are you?
Like, you don't even know what my political beliefs are.
Exactly. Well, that's like exactly that. So I should do a shout out to Fox News to say, yeah, or just on the spectrum. Exactly. I think I'm sometimes on the spectrum too. I'm on my second cup of coffee and I'm wired. Shout out to Fox News for dissing the fucking for dissing the veteran community by not having veterans on that station. Come out and support General.
Real quick to get them any other time.
Right. Oh yeah, any other time.
Let's go find the first one you can find on the street.
Oh, there was a see it's to back up.
T-shirt with a
right.
T-shirt with a black backwards flag on it.
Right. Oh my God, I know. I hate it.
Pretty man bun.
I hate it. It just frustrates me because then when I watch the news, then I don't want to watch that, and then I turn on CNN and they're whining, and then I turn on MSNBC and all I hear about is stocks. You know what I mean? Then I hear about the stock market, stonks. Yeah, hear about the stonks and all that. So to me, I just kind of get over it a little bit, and I don't want to hear about it, and then I just talk to you guys and gals. I can vent to you guys and gals about this stuff, so you guys get my point of view. So the second thing we're going to talk about, the last story. Okay, I gotta take deep breaths because this story here is going to get you guys and gals. It's gonna tug your heartstrings. Okay, this story that we're talking about renaming a post. This next one is the last one. I think this should be important. This is a story of Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe, and so I propose that Fort Benning be renamed Fort Alwyn Cashe, the home of the General Sherman Maneuver Center of Excellence. So if you don't take this into consideration about who Alwyn Cashe is. Alwyn Cashe in 2005 in October 17 was doing rock clearance an operation in Iraq, and he did probably the most. I mean, you can't even describe this. He missed an ambush, and this is from our friends over at Task and Purpose because we were going back and forth and throwing notes out and stuff like that. He walked into through fire for his men not just once but 3 times, and so his heroism and selfless service ensured that the safety of his soldiers made it out during the burning vehicle of their Bradley, and it cost him his own life. So when you think about the story of Alwyn Cashe and you read what happened, and you read the story of what he's gone through. He 3 freaking times. His vehicle struck an IED in the Iraqi provinces of Salahuddin. October 17, 2005, Cashe, a 35-year-old Gulf War vet, and on his second combat deployment to Iraq since the invasion. So he'd already gone and come back.
And this is only in 2005.
And that was only 2005. So he went back and forth. So it had been in the gun turret. And when the ID went off below his vehicle, immediately killing the squad translator and rupturing the fuel cell of the vehicle. By the time the vehicle rolled to a stop, it was fully engulfed in flames. And then they were beginning to get attacked. It was an ambush. That's normally the TTPs in Iraq. When an ID went off, you immediately had to be alert, not only because of the initial shock, but there was casualties, then they were going to get attacked. So when that happened, he got sprayed with fuel. Cashe scrambled down the hole and extracted the driver, who was on fire himself. He put his soldier out as well. He was like, oh shit. So at this time, he was sprayed with fuel, and then he returned to the vehicle at point he too caught on fire. One of the 6 soldiers in the payload compartment managed to lower the back ramp. The soldiers were baking inside. After the ramp was lowered and it was flaming inside, you can just imagine it's almost like a chimney. He walked in there on fire. He got every soldier out of that Bradley alive, on fire. Cashe was the most severely wounded, according to his Silver Star citation. 72% of his body was covered in second to third degree burns. He insisted that he was be the last man evacuated out. Now, when you read this, and I went through this, it was drenched with fuel. Despite his condition, he bravely managed to get out of the gunner's hatch, crawl down the BFE, assist the driver out of the driver's hatch. The driver had been burned, and Sergeant First Class Cashe extinguished his flames. Following minutes were crucial, of course, because 6 soldiers and a translator were in the back of the Bradley, and the flames had engulfed the entire vehicle from the bottom and were coming out of every portal. The squad leader inside the vehicle managed to open the troop door, and without regard to his own personal safety, Sergeant First Class Cashe rushed to the back of the vehicle, reaching into the hot flames and started pulling the soldiers out. The flames gripped his soaked uniform. He was on fire, everyone watching, observing him on fire as he was running back and forth into the vehicle. He placed an injured soldier on the ground and returned to the vehicle after soldier after soldier. Within minutes, the company first sergeant was on scene and began to evacuate the seriously injured soldiers. Cashe was still burned and talking to them as he was burned. I mean, I could just imagine being that burned, that I mean, just.
No, I can't imagine that.
No. So there's stories that people say, yeah, exactly that, cause exactly that. Exactly that. His soldiers would say that he was a tough as nails and compassionate NCO. Old school is what they called him. And he always put his soldiers first. Gary Mills, one of the soldiers that saved life, even said, he saved my life. With all the ammo inside the vehicle and all those flames, we would have been dead within another minute or two. So in conversations that he had, he wanted to get his soldiers as fast as he could. I try to get him as fast as I can. That was some of the quotes that his sister was saying. And I'll be honest with you, that right there is not, to me, it's not a Silver Star citation. Everyone who has who's followed the story, they do not have not a downgrade at all. Everyone is recommending that he should have gotten a Medal of Honor. Now think about it. He could have just like, oh shit, ran there and said that'd have been messed up, but he didn't. He didn't without any consideration of his own personal safety. He ran back to the vehicle. Think about this: ran back to the vehicle on fire, and himself igniting himself on fire. I mean,
this doesn't tell you that something's wrong with our award system.
This is something that really is. Oh my God!
It's been 15 years.
It is really. So anybody who tells me that Fort Benning or any installation should not be named after Alwyn Cashe, this is my campaign now. I'm going to own this. One of his last words that he said to his sisters, I couldn't get to them fast enough. That right there, when I read that, I was like, God dang, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So when someone says, oh, well, whatever, I'm not going to, that's not the name that should be changed. We shouldn't change no name and all this other stuff from a Civil War general that was a Confederate. And you mean to tell me that Alwyn Cashe isn't worthy enough to be renamed the post? If anything else, Master Sergeant Benavidez and Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe should be renamed installations. Now, there's a news story to this, and I'm this gets me choked up.
I know, I'm already.
I know.
All right.
His son.
I can get through this.
His son, exactly. Hang in there, girl. His son joined the Army. His son joined the Army this July, shortly after his 23rd birthday. Private First Class Andrew Cashe will graduate from Fort Benning after his completion of the Army's 22-week infantry training course. Of his decision to enlist, Andrew Cashe said that while it was met with some concern from his family, they accepted it, and that's something that he had to do. He said that while I was already graduated from college, my biggest motivation is first and foremost becoming a man in that sense and just bettering my life. This is PFC Andrew Cashe. My mom was actually my biggest supporter. Obviously, some family members were saddened or scared by the decision, but they understand. When asked if he felt that he was following in his father's footsteps, he replied, quote, in a sense, yes, but mainly I'm doing this for me, and I guess that this is going to come with it, joining the Army. I'm just seeing where it takes me, and personally, and going with the flow, unquote. Still, for his family, it's hard to not see a connection between his chosen path and his father's service. His mother, Andrea Christian, said, when we were discussing his decision to join, he had told me that he would only consider the Army and only would enlist in the infantry, stating, it has to be poetic, Mom. I knew that he was on the right path to becoming the man that I knew he was destined to be. Though he was only 8 when his father passed, he is still his father's son. So because Al, his dad, died when Andrew was so young, all his stories that his mom, that we have told him, Alwyn Cashe's sister, Cassinal Cash White, told Task and Purpose. So I was kind of touched that he thought of his dad, even in his absence, and that he would want to pursue a similar career to his, because my brother means the world to me, and it moved me. Now, 16 weeks into training, Andrew Cashe says that the hardest part so far has been the mental aspect. With everything that's going on in the world right now, not knowing how to, or understanding those things. And the easiest part, quote, for me personally, it's the physical things. Andrew Cashe, who used the damn New Hampshire. Sorry, I just read Cos's message. Damn onions, you're right. Who used to captain the New Hampshire Technical Institute's basketball team before graduating in 2019. His associate's degree in sports management and general studies. The PT expectations have been pretty easy per se, but just building relationships here with my fellow comrades. So the news that Andrew Cashe had enlisted in the Army as an infantryman was shared by Christian on the Sergeant First Class Cashe Deserves the Medal of Honor Facebook group earlier this month. The fight to see Sergeant First Class Cashe awarded the Medal of Honor has continued for years, but gained traction in the media, now especially. The members of the veterans community and the members of Congress that, despite these efforts, Cashe Award still remains unchanged, even though his son continues the legacy of service. Quote, the Army does not discuss specific award recommendations until a final decision has been made. Lieutenant Colonel Manny Ortiz, an Army spokesman. Cashe's own battalion commander, then Colonel Gary Brido, who originally submitted the Silver Star nomination, has been outspoken champion for Cashe to see the campaign award upgraded to a Medal of Honor. The criteria for bravery and gallantry under these horrible conditions have been met in Cashe's case. You often don't find truly self-sacrifice when someone puts a soldier's welfare before his own. Cashe was horribly wounded and continued to fight to save his men. When the improvised explosive device detonated into Cashe Bradley during the ambush 15 years ago, I'm not going to reread the story, but you guys heard the story. He kept telling the medic, I'm good. Take care of my guys. I just want to focus. He wanted to focus on everyone else, as if they were his children. On November 8th, he succumbed to his wounds at the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio in 2018. Or 2001, I'm sorry. I apologize. So he felt the Army was a special group of people, Cashe White said. That you build bonds that last forever, and for the last 15 years, I felt so many bonds, and so many women and men had served with him. And to think that 15 years later that your kid didn't know you well, and can know that some of the people that you serve with, that you supervise, can speak highly of you, how much prouder can you be? WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments are going to cover Private Cashe's graduation. So stay tuned. So when anybody else says that an installation does not need to be named, or why are we changing the names of an installation? That's why we need to change the names of these installations. I didn't read this. This is not a fucking speech. I'm just doing this off the cuff, off of straight fucking emotion, because I'm pissed. I'm also kind of living on coffee too, but it's sad.
I'm bawling. I'm sorry.
So do not at all anyone say that this is not the reason why I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to keep stomping the foot. This will be a campaign that I will be personally on. Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez and Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe. So if you guys got any issues with that, I don't care. I really don't. So when you have somebody from the White House saying that, oh, this is not about this, or this is from the Post, or this is from whatever. Yeah, okay. Whatever. I don't care. So we will keep you guys posted. You guys and gals posted on when the graduation for PFC Cashe is going to happen, because we're going to be there. We're going to be there virtually, and we're going to try to be there physically as well. If we can do it, if we can pull it off physically, we'll be there physically. If we can, obviously can do it virtually, we'll do it virtually. We're definitely going to do it virtually, but it will be aired.
Yes, I'll be working on that. Definitely on the virtual part.
Yep.
I know that there's a lot of there's still a lot of COVID rules and everything too. So
right, yeah. There's a lot. Right, everyone's been kind of saying, hey, how come we're not doing the how come we can't visit there? I know when I posted it out earlier, there were some family members that were saying, oh, wait a minute, how come I can't go there if you're going there? Now, there's some COVID rules that are going to be applied, and also if you're a member of the military, then that's some of the things that you're going to have to we're going to have to negotiate. But other than that, we're going to get to see PFC Cashe graduate. And there's not going to be this is more, Jason, this is more, brother, this is more than this is going to be a bigger support than what you can imagine. So I don't know what else to say about this. You know what I mean? I don't know what else I don't know what else we can do to get it in your head when someone says, oh, you're just erasing history, and you're just doing this, and this is why we can't change these stations, we can't change these installations, and blah blah blah, because my history. You're right, but no, I don't care about that.
This is history now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
This is history now.
Right. So, anyways, I didn't mean to get you guys upset.
Oh, of course you did.
Oh, man.
Typing, cutting onions.
I know, typing and cutting onions. Everyone's like, Facebook is not crying right now. I got all these sad emojis coming up at me. I'm like, why are you saying this? Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to, but didn't mean to get you guys upset. But that's how I feel about it. You guys pay attention to U.S. Army WTF moments, and we will be posting a lot of our stuff on WTF Nation Radio on the Facebook page there. So that way you can see exactly what we're going to do with this. We will keep you posted on all these events. We got our social media team ready. We're going to be working with our friends at Task and Purpose as well, and also working with some TRADOC members, and who else did we say we're going to work? Oh, with the MCO, with the Maneuver Center of Excellence down at Fort Benning. So we're reaching out to them. We're all going to be working in conjunction to see Andrew Cashe, Private Cashe, graduate, and then of course continue the campaign for Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cashe to A, upgrade his award to a Medal of Honor, and B, get Fort Benning renamed. I'll be honest with you, I don't care if you name it Fort Sherman, but if you name that installation for because the 3rd ID, his unit that he served in was at Fort Benning. So it's almost like a footstep that every soldier that's going to be joining the Army and going to Fort Benning as an infantryman will be graduating from Fort Alwyn Cashe should the name change. And that legacy will be, come on. But
you don't have to convince me.
Right. And I'm just right, but
I've caught my breath now. Sorry.
You okay?
I can speak again. I can speak again.
Can you talk now?
I can talk now.
All right.
You get those little kid ugly cries.
Yeah. You get the biscuit lip and your eyeballs are welling up. You're like, I'm not crying. You're trying not to cry. Yeah. How do you think? I told you all day I was trying to get through the story, reading this stuff, and I was like, you're when you asked me, are you okay? I'm like, no.
I read it 4 or 5 times at a time.
Yeah, you were like.
Yeah, the first time I say, something about it, what was it, 7 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, and you're like, kid, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. Why are you talking like that?
You know me. Usually I can try to make a joke out of everything.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
Right. Exactly.
I can make myself laugh about the most awful things.
Right.
That's my talent.
Yep.
No, I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So I'm not going to I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse on this, but I'm going to continue to beat a dead horse on this. I'm not going to shut up about this.
I'm right there with you.
So at that rate, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and we're just right on time. We're going to go ahead and continue to the to some cut sheet action, and 25th of June, we're gonna have a CSM come on from repping the organization of the Special Security Forces Assistance Command and the Security Forces Assistance Brigade, or the SFAB. He's going to be coming out, and he's going to be shooting shit with me and Spanky on the 25th of June. His name is CSM Robert Craven. Great guy. Shot the shit before. The last time we had our meeting, like I said, it was the Ken and Rob show. We just did all the talking. And great guy. Hails from Swords, Louisiana, and enlisted in the Army in 1995. He's going to be joining to talk and shoot the shit about the current position of being the 5th SFAB at CSM and talking about what they're doing. The SFABs are now being realigned. It's kind of cool the way what they're doing. It's almost like a very soft-like type of move where they're going to align themselves to a geographic combatant command. So you have 5th SFAB going to align themselves to the Indo-PACOM AOR, or Area of Responsibility. So it's advisor. It's going to be cool. Kind of curious to see what they're going through and all that. Going to get some video. I already got some videos and stuff that I'm going to show them. I'm also going to do some promos for them and help them out. But again, I can't wait to have them come on there. And aside from that, you got anything? Oh yeah, we got a show every. Shit, I was going to say we have a show every night. We're going to soon have a show every night. We're getting there. So starting this time, Friday and Saturday, obviously are days off, and then where there might be some impromptu shows. And then Sundays kicking in with Cons and Al. Monday's the Monday edition with myself and Flash, Jose, whatever we want to call him. And then Tuesdays, Pop Culture Warrior with CQ. His guests are freaking hilarious. When I'm like busy cleaning the house or doing something like that, and I'm listening to I have to stop sometimes because I'll stop and listen to what he's talking about, and then his guest just makes me I just start rolling, dude. His shows are funny. I
have tried to listen to some of them when I'm running. I'm like, yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah, you can't because you get this.
I can't Kegel and run at the same time.
You have to stop and listen, and You have to stop, and then you freaking go like, oh my god, am I? Did he just say that? And I have to like rewind the podcast, and I'm like, did you really just say that? And his guest. So listen to CQ. He's also, like I said, we're busting out some great Hollywood news. More Hollywood stuff's going to happen. Our calendar's starting to fill up right now, which is pretty good. Like I said, I'm really happy that the calendar guests are starting to come back on. Even though we've had some sort of COVID drama. I don't know. It's just like this one of those things you just got to deal with until everything gets back to normal. I don't want to hear about this back to the normal. What do they call that? What do they call that?
Oh, you don't want me to say it. I don't say those words.
You don't say that. I was trying to get you to say a buzzword. I don't
say buzzwords.
Do you know what I didn't say? Do you know what
words or the N words?
Do you know what I didn't say to all this whole show? I didn't say behoove.
You did not.
I didn't say behoove.
Extra snacks.
Yeah.
Hugs.
Yeah. I didn't say yeah.
Hug. You can't feel it, but it's
yeah.
There.
I did not say behoove. Yes. Caveat. Piggyback.
Oh gosh, I'm hanging up now. We made it through the whole show. You made me cry ugly tears.
Oh my god, what are you talking about? I was ugly tearing too. It's all your fault. But anyways, guys and gals, thanks for coming on to. You know what? You're right. Because I know this is going to, just like my memes got forwarded up to POTUS, I'm pretty sure that it's going to get up there. You can come on and shoot the shit with us and just D Treasy and talk about and defend your position on why you don't think Fort Alwyn Cashe shouldn't happen for Fort Benning. Or you can have your press secretary come on here, but we know every single guest that has come on to U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Mission Radio have had any questions given to them and then able to and they survive just fine in the hot seat, and it's not a gotcha game. It's just the questions that the veteran community. I'm telling you what, the veteran community want to know this stuff because, can I get political? Voting season is coming. Voting season is coming. Oh wait, when are we going to start doing the election stuff? Didn't I say what, a couple months out or something like that?
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, we're getting close to the. I said to you guys earlier, there's going to be a timeline where all of a sudden you're going to start seeing our graphics kind of look like election primary stuff and all that. Ain't no problem, Josiah. and we're gonna discuss, politicians. We're gonna have more party individual parties coming on. I want to get Joe Biden on here. I mean, no shit. I want to get him on here, or get members of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, the Libertarian Party. We're trying to get Joe Jorgensen come on here. She comes on here and shoots shit with us. She's the presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party, and man, I can't wait.
All of y'all are welcome, and nobody gets questions in advance.
Yeah, nobody gets. Nobody gets questions in advance. Ask all the generals. They try to sneak some.
They all do.
They all try to sneak some. They all try to sneak some. But ends up being, listen to our podcast and listen to our show. We're broadcasting and podcasting on 14 different platforms. Somebody tried to call me on it until they Googled WTF Nation Radio and saw that we own like the first 10 pages of Google. And nothing's paid for. We didn't pay for that shit. It's you guys and gals that are supporters of. On WTFNationRadio.com, we do have a donation link, though, that keeps the lights on, keeps the licenses going, keeps the music and the digits, and keeps us legal and all that. So, with that, you got anything else?
Nope, just sweet dreams and wear sunscreen.
Okay. Sweet dreams and say sunscreen. All right. Really? All right, you guys, thank you for hanging out. And shots, Space Horse.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. We'll go go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear all manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Dum 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 dum, Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger-qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.
Wear a